Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. I appreciate you joining me, and I'll tell you what, we have some baseball to talk about. There were just 9 games that happened today, but pitching ruled the day. Of those 9 games, 5 teams were shut out. So a lot of good pitching, but of course, before that, we are going to talk about the news. Griffin Canning had to be helped off the field during his start. He exited in the 3rd inning. It seems like he might have an Achilles injury. So it's another Mets pitcher going down, and they've lost a few this month. Now the question is, who's going to fill the spot? It was already kind of silly season in that Mets rotation. Blade Tidwell or Justin Hageman seem like the obvious options. They've filled in for spot starts to this point, as Griffin Canning likely heading to the IL. Now, just going to speculate. Just random speculation. If the Mets want to get really silly, they might give Jonah Tong a try. He's been striking everybody out in the minor leagues. Just see what you got there. But more than likely, Blade Tidwell, Justin Hageman will be filling in the role, as Griffin Canning likely to head to the IL with an Achilles injury. I haven't seen any update on how bad it is. More information likely to come out, later today. Genesis Cabrera was recently cleared waivers by the Cubs, elected free agency. He's been signed by the Pirates. The Pirates have DFA'd Hunter Stratton. Cabrera not likely to fill any major bullpen role, but should be in that Pirates bullpen somewhere, filling some sort of role. Mark Vientos expects to be activated today. That means movement that could happen on the Mets infield. Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, either one might be sent down. They've both been struggling, and obviously you think that the move is going to be an infielder of some sort. Jared Young could also be sent down. These are all options that the Mets have, but it's going to depend what they want to do with their struggles. It seems like one of Mauricio or Beatty, I would guess Beatty if it were me, but may get sent down. Again, I'm just guessing. No official move has been made, but once Vientos does come back, which is supposed to be soon, he said it, he expects to be back today. Something's going to have to happen. Rowdy Tellez is going to go on release waivers, so he'll be free to sign for a league minimum, a prorated league minimum, but we'll see if he can land a major league job and have his powerful stylings of batting in a different uniform. Michael Fulmer, DFA'd by the Cubs. This is mostly significant for fantasy because it cleared the way for Shota Imanaga to return to the rotation. He was back and he struck out 3 over 5 scoreless innings in his return to Chicago. Lars Nootbaar expected to be inactive for a couple games. The Cardinals wanting to get ahead of an injury, I guess. He received some sort of injection. I'm not going to pretend to know what it was, but they expect him to play against Cleveland. So he just going to be out. 48 hours is what it was. He got it yesterday, so 48 hours, should be back against Cleveland. Lars Nootbaar likely to be out for a couple days, a few days. And finally, in news, we have some prospect news. Harry Ford is set to join the Mariners, catching prospect with an interesting fantasy skill set. He was hitting .311 with 8 home runs in AAA. He had 3 steals. However, in the past, he stole 35 bases in 2024, so he has some speed to him. A little bit of power, as his highest home run total was 15. I think he only had 7 last year, but either way, a catcher with some speed. We'll see what the playing time looks like. He is joining the Mariners because Mitch Garver is headed for a stint on the IL, which means Harry Ford will get a chance to catch for the Mariners. Obviously, rough time to find catching opportunity thanks to the existence of Cal Raleigh, but you DH him, let Harry Ford catch a little bit, see what you have in your prospect. Fun always to have a prospect called up, and especially if he can get regular playing time and you can snag him, you can get a little bit of extra speed from a position that you are not used to getting some speed from, at least potentially. Again, only 3 steals this year, had 35 last year. We'll see how that translates. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. As mentioned, lots of offenses got shut out, so more pitching than hitting highlights, but still some stuff to talk about. Pete Alonso's magical season for the Mets continues. He had 3 hits, including a double, going 3 for 4. And the slugger, who isn't usually a huge batting average help, is hitting .292 on the year. Trying to prove to everybody, it seems, that he should have gotten a better contract. For the Marlins, Kyle Stowers and Augustin Ramirez smacked their 12th homer of the year. Ramirez added a double as well. So Stowers has 12, Ramirez has 12. As well, the day did not go well for Hayden Birdsong, but we'll talk about that later. Rafael Devers collected 3 hits, including a home run and a double. As a Giant, he's hitting .257 with 2 home runs and 2 doubles through 35 at bats. 3-hit day. Love to see it. Shohei Ohtani with a solo shot to give him 28 on the year. He's hitting .291 on the season. And I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise, just Shohei Ohtani having a great year. Turns out he's a good hitter, as we all already knew. Brenton Doyle went yard for the Rockies. It was his 6th of the year. And his, batting average is below 200, which is not ideal. But I did just make a trade for him in my Dynasty League, and I was digging into him quite a bit. And I got to say, the peripheral stuff still looks good for him. His exit velocity, his average exit velocity is up. His hard hit percentage is up. It just seems like he's getting a little bit unlucky. And hopefully, home run here. Maybe this is the start of a turnaround, but it does seem like there is reason to believe a turnaround is coming. Whether this is it or not, it's Brenton Doyle has been hitting the ball just as well, if not a little better in some ways than he did last year. So rough going. Obviously, the 194 batting average, let's call it, is not ideal, but some things still look good with him. Do you know who is hitting really well? Junior Caminero. He hit his 20th home run of the season for the Rays yesterday, and he is on fire recently with 9 hits, including 3 bombs in his last 7 games, hitting .321 in that time. And the man just keeps on hitting. I mean, he had a rough start. He's hitting .260 on the year now. And man, Junior Caminero is a special, special talent. Trevor Larnach for the Twins. I mean, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, including his 12th homer of the year. He continues to be like a solid, if not boring, low-end fantasy outfield bat if you are struggling to find one. He's hitting, over his last 7 games, he's hitting .308 with a pair of home runs, and he's walked almost as much as he's struck out in that sample. He's just kind of getting the job done. He's a steady presence so far this year, which is nice to see. The Tigers offense scored 8 runs, sparked by a torque bork, as Mr. Scott Chu would call it. That is a home run, and it was his 17th of the year for Spencer Torkelson. He picked up a pair of hits in the game, not to be outdone by Zach McKinstry, who collected 3 hits, coming just a home run shy of the cycle. He had a double, a triple, and a single, and he also stole a base. So a solid day for Zach McKinstry. Gleyber Torres also went deep in the game. Moving on to some of the pitching. Man, pitching ruled today. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Grant Holmes surrendered 2 runs across 5 innings against the Mets while striking out 6. He's been very solid, striking out 54 batters with a 3.29 ERA over his last 38 1/3 innings. So kind of a strikeout machine recently. For the Marlins, Jansen Junk, who's been largely reliable, if not better than reliable, as a bullpen arm, received his 2nd start. The first one went well in a short amount of innings. This one, he went 3.2 innings, and he got tagged for 5 runs while striking out 1 batter. So this start did not go as well for Jansen Junk, but I'm inclined to believe it'll get better. The numbers say it should. He's found a different level in terms of some of the data that's been talked about him. Junk did not have a rough a day as the starter opposite him, which was Hayden Birdsong. And Birdsong walked 4 and gave up 7 runs across 4 innings with 1 strikeout. So not a good day at the office for Hayden Birdsong, who's been pretty good this year. But in this one, looks like you started to see those command issues rear their ugly head once again. That's what he was working on last year. That's what the issue was last year. Things have looked better, but this start was not it. Clayton Kershaw continues to post good starts for the Dodgers, 6 innings and 5 strikeouts, allowing just 1 run against the Rockies. On the other end of that, Austin Gomber against the Dodgers in Coors. That sounds like it should be scary. It was fine. 5 innings, 1 run ball, and he struck out 1 batter. So not dominant by any means, but he did pretty well. Christopher Sanchez was dominant for the Phillies. He struck out 11 hitters over 6 innings, gave up 1 run. He holds a 2.44 ERA with 44 strikeouts and 11 walks in his last 44 and a third innings, spanning 7 starts. So he's been pitching very well as of late. Guy who's been pitching well all season, though. Hunter Brown. Oh my gosh. It seems like every time he touches the rubber, you just don't want to show up to work that day if you're a hitter. He struck out 9 over 7 scoreless innings, and that brings his season ERA to a 1.74. I mean, it's crazy. He is just absolute domination this year. Shane Baz is not absolute domination this year. He's looked really good in stints. And today was one of those games. He was untouchable against the Royals. I'm sorry, yesterday was one of those games, I should say. He was untouchable against the Royals. He struck out 9 batters and walked just 1 over 8 scoreless innings. So did not give up a run. A good way to bounce back after giving up 5 runs to Detroit his last time out. This makes 2 good starts and, well, the Detroit start over his last 3. So Baz having a good day and showing that he has this upside still that we want to believe in. Simeon Woods Richardson scattered 2 hits and a walk over 5 scoreless innings while striking out 6. Brings his season ERA down to 4.63. Woods Richardson, not a guy that I have any fantasy interest in. Seems like just a solid 5 in a rotation, if not a spot starter. And will give you some good games like this. Will also give you some rough games, as he has. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays dominated the Guardians to the tune of 8 strikeouts and 2 hits over 8 shutout innings. So a solid day for him. And for the Tigers, Dietrich Enns got the start. He went 5 innings, gave up just 1 hit and 2 walks while striking out 4. A solid day for him. However, not likely to have any lasting effect. Reese Olson is due back very soon, which personally I'm super excited about. But they should expect Reese Olson back soon. And so Enns likely just filling time in the meantime. One reliever I want to mention, he's a favorite of mine, so obviously he's been talked about quite a bit if you're a regular listener to the First Pitch podcast, but Daniel Palencia picked up his 8th save of the season for the Cubs. He struck out the side, allowed just 1 hit, and you know, he blew his first save opportunity back in May, but he has converted each of the 8 since. They are sporadic a little bit. 5 of them came at the end of May, and he has 3 starting in mid-June, so you can't trust it, but he does look really good. Like, he almost is positioning himself to be closer of the future for the Cubs at this point, and it's amazing to see. Flame-throwing guy just racking up strikeouts and doing well in saves. Like I mentioned, he's 8 of 9 on the season, and all 8 have come in a row at this point. With that, we're going to take a quick timeout. Got a few pitchers I want to talk about on the other end of this break. I do appreciate you joining me once again. My name is Trevor Hooth, and this is the First Pitch podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Thanks so much for being here with me. We've talked news, we've talked hitting, we've talked pitching. Pitching was phenomenal in yesterday's games. I'm going to say the stat again because it just wowed me. In 9 games, there were 5 shutouts. That's over half of the games where the offenses just didn't score a run, or at least one of the offenses, I should say. But that's not what we're talking about now. What we're talking about now is today's games. Let's see what we got coming up. Ryan Pepio versus the Orioles. He faced them on the 16th of June, so that was not his most previous start, but the start before it, and he struck out 11 in 8 innings. So you kind of love to see it just based on that. He has 18 strikeouts and 2 earned runs across 13 innings in his last 2 starts. So he's been really good lately. And again, one of those starts was against the Orioles where he did dominate. So got to be interested in him as he takes on the Orioles once again. Luis L. Ortiz will be on the mound against the Cardinals. And the question is, which Luis L. Ortiz are we going to see? Last time out, he struck out 10 in 6 innings against the Athletics. The time before, he gave up 6 earned runs. Which one are we going to see? He takes on Sonny Gray and the Cardinals. Can he keep his hot hand rolling? I did trade him right before that last outing where he was phenomenal. So based on history, yes, he'll keep it going, but that remains to be seen. We'll see what the Cardinals do. Another pitcher I want to talk about. I've seen a lot of sell high on Mick Abel, which I get. It's a very fastball heavy approach that he has. And so once hitters start to hit the fastball, that can get really scary. I'm interested to see how he comes back. He gave up 4 runs in 3 innings against the Mets last time out. I do believe it might be a good guy to sell high on if you are able to, but I don't know if it's going to be the worst thing to hold and see what happens. I mean, look, he has really good stuff and you can tweak an approach. We'll see if they do. He has the Braves later today. We'll see what happens. But I do understand the sell high. I think I would personally hold, but again, I get it. It's super fastball heavy. And finally, the game of the day, it's going to be the Rangers versus the Mariners for me. Logan Gilbert is on the mound for the Mariners. That's always a good thing if you're a Mariners fan. If you're a fan of the other team, that's usually not a very good thing for you. But it's going to be a fun outing because Nathan Eovaldi is set to make his return from the injured list. He has not pitched in a month exactly. He went out on May 27th, and he returns today. So Nathan Eovaldi set to make his return against the Mariners. Should be interesting to see how that goes. And he takes on Logan Gilbert. That's going to be a fun matchup. Could be pretty good. Eovaldi's been fantastic this season. Logan Gilbert's one of the better pitchers in the league. And so that is my game of the day. We'll check in, see how it went on tomorrow's podcast. So make sure to come back and listen to that. Also, make sure to check out pitcherlist.com so you can see the top 100 pitchers, the top 100 hitters, the top reliever lists, and all the wonderful written content that comes out regularly on that website. We got a lot of smart people. And of course, if you want to talk to those smart people, there's a Discord for that. Join PL Pro. You can talk to us. Baseball's being talked all the time. But with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you joining me here. This has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.